What is going on? We are live. Another late night heavy pour takes. Selena, you okay?
I'm just laughing at the comment up there.
The what?
The
Oh, is it
comment he
like-
left. I'll have to send you the TikTok so you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm laughing, but
Okay.
he's been making this sound literally all day. I've heard it probably 30 times.
Guys, I'm always behind on the TikTok trends. I don't.
It's
we
not a
have
trend.
TikTok.
It's not a trend.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Gotcha.
It's just it's not. It's a Braden thing.
You pouring something?
Yes, caffeine
Oh, very
because your
nice.
girl is tired. Okay.
Caffeine at 10 o'clock at night. That's always a good.
Listen,
decision.
your girl also has raging ADHD, so it's not gonna do shit for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. My adrenal system is effed. I'm sipping on an energy drink on my drive home just so I don't fall asleep.
Yeah, I get really tired about 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I'm
Hammer, sir, how you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are
Are
y'all?
you fully recovered from this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just as soon as our season ended, recruiting, transfer portal, all that stuff began, right? So you kind of lick your wounds a little bit, and then you just look forward because there's nothing to look back on except one big dumpster fire. So
I'm not built for Porter season because everyone's suddenly an insider and everybody knows everything. And in reality, nobody knows nothing at all.
nobody knows anything.
And then it's just a circle of
Nothing.
nonsense, just constantly.
Yeah, and today especially because people think they're funny.
That's why I put that
Yeah.
tweet out, Hammer. That's why I was like, I'm not believing anything that's happened today whatsoever. Nothing
Yeah.
at all. Tomorrow, maybe. Today,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, because people generally in any normal day are full of shit to start with. So today was just a compounding.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know, man. That was. I mean, I can sit here and tell you everything that went wrong, but just nothing went right. First 5 minutes of the game, I text T and I said, "We're in trouble," and the wheels just came off, and that was just that was a better team. It wouldn't have mattered if all the things we talked about had happened that potentially could put us in a position to win. That team's another animal altogether.
Yeah.
Because the past two Elite Eights, we got kind of hosed by Purdue, and then we played Houston tough, but just down the stretch, just too many fouls, too much, late by them to overcome. We just got our ass kicked, period. That's all there is to say about it.
I mean, I was shocked by the score. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't get to watch the game because I was at Percussion State Finals all weekend, and service in there was not good. But I looked at the score and I was like, "Oh, wow!"
Yeah.
ooh.
And what happened really is kind of what some of the things that T and I've lamented all year, and the lack of scorers and shooting really was exposed in this game, which they made it farther than expectation. Let's be honest, right? So it was disappointing, yes, but you have to celebrate what Rick Barnes was able to do with this team. If you're a Tennessee fan, I don't want to hear this crap about he's done and washed up and we can't win and all this other garbage. It's nonsense. He's one of the winningest coaches in college basketball. So you can't say that they weren't ready to play. Okay, fine. Maybe you can say that. Or maybe they were tired. They ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
But they exceeded certainly my expectations, and anybody would have told you middle of January, yeah, this team will be lucky to make the tournament. So I can go back and pull the receipts for everybody if you want to challenge me on that, because I've got them. But I think it's just simply a matter of now we know exactly what we need to compete at that level to hopefully maybe get past that hump. And it's no secret, you got to have scorers. You got to have guys that create their own shot, can shoot the ball. And we took a step towards being able to do that with the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year this year at Belmont. So a 6'5" guard. that can reminds me a lot of another guy we had a couple years ago.
Please don't say Skylar McBee. Just don't say Skylar
Pretty-
McBee.
Pretty good shooter. No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Good.
Don't say don't connect either.
I ain't saying. I'm just saying. Watch the film.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Me and Juice were going back and forth about him. But yeah, we'll get to the portal because I think there was some definite confusion about him being able to commit now and the portal season not open. I think you got to know the rules about how that works.
Yeah, it's real simple.
Year grad transfer. Yeah, not real hard.
Yeah.
But T, we were talking about the game, and I think expectations changed when he got there. But beginning of the postseason Sunday selection show, we talked about Elite Eight was the ceiling. If everything went right, Elite Eight was it. And you got there, and then you ran into Michigan. Which, Hammer, you said first 5 minutes. I thought y'all hung tough. Close to the beginning, and I mean they spread it out on you. They're pretty quick, but offensive rebounds, you're still getting those. They were pretty close, but you were getting second chance points, and Gillespie seemed like he was going to have a game. But yeah, it was tough. You could tell that was a team that could match y'all's physicality, and then it got to a point where they were just beating you guys up. But T, how did you feel about the game? As you were watching it, and that lead from Michigan kind of stretched out to 20 plus.
So first and foremost, Michigan was better than us, right? Let me just make sure I qualify anything I say after that with Michigan was better than us. They were going to beat us. We know how Tennessee plays. It's physical. We need a more lenient whistle. This was a tight whistle, and I put in our group chat, or maybe I tweeted it actually, but there was 11 foul calls in before the first 10 minutes. So I said that not only against Tennessee, but this was just way too much referee too much referee in the game. And when it's that style of whistle, so I'm not trying to say that the referees cheated. I'm saying when it's that style of whistle, that does not bode well for us. And that you could tell deflated all the wind out of our sails very, very early on. So again, Michigan was better than us anyway. We were not constructed in a way where we could adapt to a tight whistle. So that
even the commentators were like the flow of the game was just kind of ruined early by
Yeah, and that's kind of what when I text T, we're in trouble. That's what I was referring to, because it was clear that was not going to be a favorable whistle for us and our style of play against a team that is so athletic, so deep. And I mean, yeah, I'm not blaming officiating on this game because they just whipped us. Okay. And Braden is ball knower. But it certainly didn't put us in a position where we could get any traction. And, that's kind of what I meant when the context of when I said to T, we're in trouble. That's what I meant, because when Felix picked up number 2 and then eventually number 3, that was it.
Yeah.
We were done.
Well, shoot, I don't know how – I know it was in the first half. At least it might have been even in, the first 12 minutes. Felix had 2. Brown had 2. Estrella had 2. It was
yeah.
And that's
Felix
what –
picked
and
up
Barnes
his
had
third with about, I want to say 10, 11-ish minutes, maybe even 12 minutes to go in the first half. He picked up his third foul.
Yeah, and Rick Barnes said it in coach speak, but basically it was just like, we don't know how to adapt to this. And he was like, we got to figure it out or whatever he said, but that's basically what it was. Just like, yeah, we're in a bad way, which we were. So that's what I saw of it. It was you have to be able to adapt to both various playing styles in the tournament because you're going against teams from all over the place. And you have to be able to adapt to different refereeing styles. You would hope in a tournament they would let it, be a little more physical and stuff. But either way, you have to be prepared to adapt. And we just weren't able to adapt. On top of the fact that we were playing a team that's better than us. What's good, Juice?
You are, Juice. You're good.
You are good, Juice.
Yeah, and I mean, when we talked about this in the group chat, the whistle was about the same as it was in the second half of the Sweet 16 game, but Michigan's making free throws. They didn't go, they weren't going below 50% from the free throw line.
Yep.
And when you're giving them easy buckets, and I got to tell you, we talked about this and I wouldn't say we debated it, but we just questioned it of like Yaxel at UAB was a bucket getter, 20 plus points per game. He was 15 average per game at Michigan. And we were like, is that because they're not asking him to do much? Or is it because as he's gone up in competition, he's not performing as well or not as efficient? And buddy, in that game, they gave him the ball and he was able to do a lot more than I expected. I mean, some of the moves that he was making, the up and under and one, he's able to stretch out, hit a couple threes. He showed why he's an NBA draft prospect at that, 3-4 spot.
My other issue is, remember, there were 11 foul calls and there was a lot on Michigan and Tennessee early on. We didn't do anything offensively to capitalize on that, right? Like they kept getting fouled, at that 10-minute mark. We continued to foul them. We did not continue to force the issue to get fouls on them. And we probably would have missed our free throws anyway, but you know what I mean? We weren't pushing the issue offensively like Michigan was. And maybe that was just because of lack of ability, but they continued to get the foul calls, whereas we did not. And then finally we had to get lax. We tried to get up off them a little bit defensively, give them a little more space. And then they just went crazy from there.
Yeah. And Yaxel didn't necessarily have a spectacular shooting day. He was just over 50% from the floor, 30% from three, just over 50% from the free throw line. But he also had one personal foul. So he played 35 minutes and just, volume was
gotta push the issue.
You know what I mean? So but I would have done the same thing, man. I just kept feeding him because who's going to stop him?
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody's going to stop him. Nobody's going to try to face guard him with 3 fouls or 4 fouls.
Right.
So
what'd y'all think about Nate Amend's performance? Because early on in the game, and I texted to y'all, I was like, I think I was right. Nate Ament, man, no one could stop him. Like he got to the free throw line a couple times quick, and then it went away from it. Do you think it was the youth? Like he wasn't in takeover mode. Like you'd want a, stud to be like the guy like he came to Tennessee to be? Or do you think it just like the physicality got to it? What do you think it was? Because in my mind, he took a couple dudes off the dribble quick and I'm like, yeah, they're not going to be able to, he might not be as heavy or as built as some of these guys that are guarding him on Michigan, but he's way quicker and he's way more skilled. But then he went away from that, and everything he was taking was tough twos to T's point, not trying to get to the free throw line, fadeaway jumpers, 18-footers, and not anything at the rim.
Yeah, I mean, we had 2 guys in double digits, and one of them had 10.
Yeah.
So they just got Tennessee out of such a rhythm in shooting because Tennessee ended up just over 31% from the floor, 19% from 3, and barely 50% at the free throw line. So you're not going to beat anybody shooting like that.
Yeah, I thought when we were watching the game, I thought that was a good call by you because you called it before the game on our last show that he had the potential to take him off the dribble. And I'm with Juice. I just think he just didn't have it in him, with his ankle soreness, maybe that initial game tip, adrenaline kind of dies down. The pain starts getting to you a little bit, legs a little dead or something. But I think it was more that because you're right. He did show some capability early and then just wasn't able to sustain it. And I think that ankle, which honestly just makes me love Nate even more, the fact that he was willing to go out there and give it the old college try. But
especially considering some freshmen haven't this year, right? Like
Correct.
They've set out so much. Darren Peterson.
and Mikael Brown.
Right. Yeah. And he's like, oh, banged up
Potentially
knees,
JQ,
sprained
like,
ankle.
yeah.
It's fine. Whatever. Oh, yeah. JQ.
Yeah. You got guys sitting out not wanting to get hurt. And here you have Nate Ament injured, legitimately injured, pushing, playing through it, diving on the floor for balls and, colliding, getting tangled up, hitting the floor hard. I mean, the dude just defines what you want to see out of, a college athlete. So I know we won't get him back. It'd be crazy if he didn't. go, but man, well, how awesome would it be if he came back? Because I tell you, he won the fan base over.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I mean, I give him props for that. It's like most people
Hog.
haven't done that this season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and I do agree with what Braden said, though. If this wasn't such a heavily loaded class, he would be much higher ranked. But this
That's
class, as a
Yeah.
freshman, is ridiculous.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
and Rando knows I have a lot of hubris when people use the word generational because I think it's tossed, and he does too. It gets tossed around way too loosely, but this is
class is though.
absolutely a generational
Like,
class.
This class is
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh,
No question.
Yeah,
Like-
big time.
Yeah. This
Good
is
Lord.
a generational class.
Hey,
So-
Ferris called something out here. T, I want you to speak to it if you would. What do you? Oh, sorry, Rando, I put it up there.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Ferris, this is what me and Hammer have been lamenting
I still
all
don't know
season
about that.
is the fact that he plays 35 minutes a game, and that's why so many when shots fall short, particularly consistently, it's because your legs are gone. Your
Yeah.
legs are gone because you're tired. Now, even though people on Twitter want to or X want to argue with me that these kids are 18 to 21 and don't get tired, I know that that's not true, and that is why, in my opinion, we see that version of Gillespie. He's a stud, clearly in incredible shape, but even he gets tired, and that's when his shots start falling short. They're almost always on target.
They're short.
They're short because his legs are smoked. 'Cause
Yeah. And he played 38 minutes.
yeah, he's guarding hard. He's trying to score hard. He's trying to create hard, and he's getting no break. Like,
Yeah.
and it happens every time.
Yeah, and and we look at it just from the offensive side of the ball. You have to consider what they do on the defensive side, and
Yes.
who's running around out there crazy. He and Bishop Boswell are running out there like chickens with their legs cut off, as I heard it said one time, and that takes as much of a toll, if not more, than running up and down the floor, running circles, ball screens, things like that. And then it's just a physical game, period. So you're beating and banging, trying to shed your blocker, get through, a screen or a double team. I mean, it's just absolutely takes its toll. And these guys have played a lot of basketball games in a short period of time over these past few weeks.
Yep.
We've been talking about it all season, and there you go. Which he could have scored 40, and we still wouldn't have won. But it obviously had an impact on him, and he's probably one of the best conditioned guys out there. Imagine what the bigs were feeling, especially when they started getting in foul trouble and having to play a lot more minutes. It takes
Poor
its toll.
Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one bright spot, and we talked about him on the last show too. Of if someone was going to be able to work in the post and while he isn't the athlete Yaxel was, I thought he could lean on him, and he backed Yaxel down many times and scored in the paint. And Yaxel had no answer for him. One, I think they were up, so he wasn't really wanting to take a cheap foul. But whenever Carey was on that block and wanted to score, he could do so. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit. Once you figured that out and could go to it, it was too late.
Yep. Which is, I don't understand how that wasn't part of like your early on game plan, but yeah.
Well, we've spoke to it all season. We've had issues working the ball into the post, getting clean passes into the post, and I just didn't see it employed with the talent that we had in the front court. We didn't take advantage of it at times this year.
Yeah.
He's a junior, Carey.
Yeah, he's got one more.
Yeah, he's got another year.
He's potentially someone who could, I don't know if he's going to take a massive step. He's got, but he hasn't really played a lot of basketball, right? His history is he started playing basketball late, so he's still kind of trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's someone that you might be able to lean on.
He's made it's an emotional time, but he's made the whole statement, I'm all in. I want to come back in the best shape of my life. Like all the things that you want to hear said.
Right. Yeah.
He says he wants to stay, from my understanding. And I think most fans want to see him stay. A lot of people were frustrated with him in that time period where he kind of disappeared, but I think he re-ingratiated himself with the fan base. So I think most people would like to see him back, and he says he's
Oops.
all in. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
think,
well,
and we could potentially have a 4-man, maybe 5-man front court, depending on what we do in the portal. But you get Cade coming back, JP potentially is back. Somebody I'm sure will try to steal him from us. Dwayne Brown, and then Carey. So there's still a 4-man at least front court for now, and obviously we'll see what happens in the portal and all that.
did Cade take a medical redshirt year? Did he save a year? Or did he play too much? I can't remember how much he was on the floor, if at all.
Not a whole lot. I don't know if he got a medical redshirt, but he certainly did not play a lot.
30% of the games is the marker. So if you're under 30% of the games, you can medical redshirt. And like I said, I don't remember him playing an awful lot, especially in SEC play. He was already out. So I think the way that works, depending on how many games you play, if you're stop playing around December time frame, you normally can fit that 30% marker.
Yeah,
a medical red shirt has been applied for. I haven't seen if it actually was granted.
Okay. Yeah, and so
but the off season for the Border Rivals has started for all of us. And I will say this: it was fun to get to continue the no Final Four banter on the BBN side. I will also say, if you recognize the consistency between Sweet 16s and Elite 8s, if we had that, we being Kentucky, if we had that, our coach would still be in Lexington and not in Arkansas. So we can clown that, but I think Kentucky fans would have traded in a lot of the postseason frustrations for 3 consecutive Elite Eights, because once you get there, you never know what's going to happen, especially with some of the teams that we saw get bounced in the first weekend. But you started talking about Belmont and this new transfer. What do y'all think about that? Obviously gets to commit early, being a grad transfer. 4th school in 5 years, I believe Tennessee is. Now, consistent shooter over that time, which is something that, Henry, you mentioned, and Juice and I were going back and forth about. How do you feel about him coming in? Obviously, you got to build around him. You got to go find a stud point guard, which seemingly Rick Barnes does in the portal or through recruitment. But what do you see in him? And then how do you think you want to fill out this roster when the portal opens here in, I guess, like a week and a half?
Well, I mean, obviously the kid is a sharpshooter, and he is a pure shooter. I think he averages somewhere around 2 assists a game, or maybe not even 2 assists a game. So the guy's a scorer. And when I was talking about comparison, it reminds me of somebody. I'm not comparing him to Dalton Connect in his final year when he played for Tennessee, but I think he's that type of mentality that give me the ball, I'll put it in the basket. Career 40-something% shooter from
43, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So dude can flat stroke, and free throw percentage is in the 90s, like 92, 93% from the free throw line. That would be a very welcome addition to the offense. Now, he's 6'5", so he's good size, but I don't think that's the piece you build the offense around, kind of like we did with DK. We've got to have a stud point guard. We need an elite point guard, and that's not to say Jacoby wasn't, because he certainly was. But we've got to have that guy, and that would give us 2 pretty solid guards, which this time of year is what you have to win. And I think, whatever T thinks about this, but I think we also go after one of these 7-footer athletic big guy rim protectors. I love Cade Phillips, one of my favorite players. Estrella's not a rim protector. Phillips is kind of the bully. He does the dirty work. He's not scared to mix it up with anybody. But we need another Felix. We need somebody that can get in there and absolutely be a menace. And I think there's enough of these athletic big guys out there. And from what I understand, financial support is not going to be an issue for Coach Barnes, which tells me a couple things. One, they want to get over this hump and get a Final Four, but also I think they want to get him a Final Four at Tennessee because we may be coming to the end of the road. So I say whatever money we don't give to football, give it to Coach Barnes, and let's go do something special next year.
I did see McVall say something about that of like this is going to be a roster where you're not going to have to worry about pitching pennies. So I don't know if he saw that from somebody, if you saw that as well. But yeah, looks like you guys will be able to go all in on basketball. T, is there anybody out there you've seen? I know Soto Surreal got out there. I'm pretty sure he's an Arkansas lock. I don't think anybody really needs to try to worry about that. But is there another big you've seen hit the portal, which is crazy? I mean, Goodman put this out. 800 kids have entered the portal already, and it's not even open. Like, it's wild. And especially out, you see 800, there's still going to be more, and 80% of them are going to be either in the portal or going to have to downgrade because they don't get the value they think they're worth. But has there been anybody you've seen that you want to go after?
Nah, you know me. I don't pay enough attention to that kind of stuff. I always kind of end up like, let me just know who's going to be on the roster so I can know who to root for. I mean, me and Hammer are in a group chat, and they kind of keep us abreast of who's out there and kind of who we're getting after. But I can't speak knowledgeably on it. Like, I've watched these dudes film, and I really want that kind of guy. The dude from Georgia, I think you're right. But if we could get something in that vein, because we do need a Felix. And there was an article about Barnes admitting that his philosophy's got to change, and we're not going to make a Final Four just through the best defensive team out there or whatever. Hence, this dude from Belmont. Because from what I've read, the scouting report is he gives you everything you want shooting-wise. He does not give you what Rick Barnes wants defensively. That, to me, just all the more stresses the need for a Felix behind you, or a type of Felix to wipe away all these people who are going to be able to drive right past this guy. We had a hard enough time with it this year, with every single solitary guard having a career night against us. So I don't know a particular name, but I just need someone in the vein of Felix Akbara, somebody who can be long and wants to block everything and is capable of blocking a lot of things. I don't think we're going to build the offense around the kid from Belmont. I think we're going to use him to be a knockdown shooter and to give us space. And I think that's a key piece that you have to have. We had nobody to space the floor this year. And then even with Connect's year, we didn't have anybody space the floor because our best shooter was Connect and he had the ball in his hand. So when you have somebody that people can't leave, that gives you space. And then if you do leave him, then we're going to make you pay. So I don't think we're going to build the offense around him, but I think it's marking a pretty significant shift in how Barnes is going to try to construct this roster. So give me a backline guy to wipe away some defensive flaws. We got our shooter. We need a point guard, and we need a 6'9", 6'8" wing guy, in my opinion.
Hey, so Drew's in the chat. He's tied into the portal, and he does a lot of research, and he's real good at what he does. He mentioned the Mizzou guy. Drew, what do you think about the lefty from Georgia who just hit the transfer portal? I think he's going to be highly sought after as well. But I don't really know too much about his
Pope's
game.
already claimed him. He's a lefty. Okay, we know the thing with Pope and left-handers.
I think I'm.
Years ago, we had like 8 people on Tennessee's. Our entire starting 5 was lefties.
Yeah, Pope seems to like to recruit them a lot.
The Lexington lefties that we were so excited about this year I think we maybe just go away from that model. Maybe we try something new. Short sample size, but I didn't really necessarily like what I see. Miles Bird to UK I would like that. Kid from San Francisco would like that. But Wilkinson, yeah. And remember, we did have a Georgia point guard come in a few years back. Wheeler was great his first year. Unfortunately, he dropped off year 2. But God, I did love watching Wheeler play. Give me Hubbard. He ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. Unfortunately, he's got that state on lock. He's gonna make too much money.
He makes a ton of money. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Who is that?
He's. I don't see
Hubbard,
Josh Hubbard.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi. Oh, yeah.
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 And
He makes so
unfortunately,
much
with him,
money.
he's just too streaky. When he's on, he's getting 40. When he's off, he's getting 4. You just don't know what you're getting from Josh Hubbard. But he
But
is electric for
For
sure.
someone like him, if you're surrounded by better players and the 100% of the offensive load is not on you, that could potentially help.
Mhm.
With the,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
this year, that team was not good, and he was the only offense they had.
he was
Past
100.
couple of years, he's had more people, and it helped him a lot. He scored better, I think. But I like him. He's also really small, to be fair, for a guard, especially in the SEC right now. All the guards are big. He's 6 foot if he's lucky, 6'1"
Yeah.
maybe. Like he's tiny.
Yeah.
6'1" and 2.
Yeah.
If you listen to Selena, he's 6 foot, just like I'm 6 foot, which is disrespectful, but because I am,
Randall, I've
6
literally
foot.
met you in person.
and I'm literally 6.
And I gave
I'm
you
not-
a
I'm not
hug,
having
and we
this-
were like, literally, like, what are you talking about?
These are lies. These are lies that she's speaking, and I don't appreciate the blasphemy, the disrespect. But
I mean, I am tall, but I ain't that tall.
so before we transition to Kentucky portal, you mentioned, players on your roster. Is there anybody that you're like, hey, I'm good with if they were to go portaling? Someone like JP Estrella. You've had the experience, you've seen flashes, but I just don't know if you're going to get what you thought you were getting from JP, or do you think you have to, keep him just for he knows the system, depth, those sort of things?
I'll let Hammer go first.
Wild, Braden.
This is tough because you love your team and
Yeah.
you want everybody on your team to be successful and part of the program. And T and I both have shared some frustration with his play over the course of this season. So I guess ultimately would I like to have him on the team? Yeah, but you also have to see results, right? You got to have production. It's a results driven system. So I'd like to him not start. Can I answer it that way, Rando? He can be on the team. He just can't start. He's got to earn his minutes.
Yeah.
That's where I think we've got to go. Cade Phillips, for me, when he's healthy, he's got to be on the floor. I hope the shoulder's okay. He's had problems with it the last season and a half or so. If he's healthy, then he's the guy I want at that 4 spot without question. No question about it. But I think we've got to go get a big. We got to go get a rim protector, and because he's not it. So does he have a place on the team? Yes. Do I want him in my starting rotation? Hell no.
So, yeah, he put that well. So your question is, who would I be okay with if they hit the portal? I would be okay. Of people that contributed and played this year, I would be okay if Estrella hit the portal. I would prefer him not to, but I would be okay if he did. If that, because that was really what your question is, right? Like I would rather him stay, but if he leaves, I'm not going to lose my mind. I would like Amari Evans to stay.
Yes.
I don't want to see him hit the portal, and he's pretty polarizing, I think, to our fan base. But I don't want to see Bishop Boswell leave either. I think maybe his role could potentially adjust next year into the Jordan Bowden role back in Grant Williams and Admiral Schrofield's days. Jordan Bowden was like the 6th man along with Turner, and Barnes just kept calling that curl play right there along the free throw line for him all the time, and he was automatic with it. So we only need about 10 points from you a game. You come in, give us good hustle. and all that. I think that's the perfect role for Bishop Boswell, and I think he more than anybody embodies. He's like that torchbearer for the Barnes mentality and the standard and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to see Boswell stay, but probably in a different role as well. But I really want to see Amari Evans stay.
Bishop Boswell in the Jordan Gainey-esque type, come off the bench, flash, those sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to throw out there.
Yeah, Gainey for people who are not Tennessee fans and can remember, just maybe last year. Gainey's a good comp, but Bowden was Gainey before Gainey was Gainey.
Yeah.
But yes, in that mold, I think is the right role for Boswell. And then Juice has talked a lot about Dwayne Brown, and I'm with him. I don't want to see Dwayne Brown go to the portal either. Did not expect anything from him this year and was pleasantly surprised. So, yeah, Dwayne Brown and Amari Evans and Boswell, for me, I want to stay. Estrella, I would prefer to stay, but whatever. And I want Carey to stay.
Hammer feels the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it was JP's, well, I either want to start or I'm going to transfer, then bye, Felicia.
Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody would be willing to pay him that, a lower, Power 5 or, a top tier mid-major or something probably would be willing, to take him off our hands. But I don't think the demand's going to be there. I think there will be some demand for Amari Evans, however. So
yeah,
I'm with T. That's one I really think we need to keep for sure. And yeah, Brown as well. That's, if you're talking about guys that potentially could leave, those are two that we need to clamp down, no matter what happens elsewhere from the portal.
Yeah, Juice.
Yeah,
hey, Bowden, man. I was a big Bowden fan, and Barnes had him in the perfect role. And then that year that it was going to, once Grant and Admiral left, and it was going to be him and Lamonte together. And then, Lamonte ended up having the shoulder, and that kind of derailed that year. But I was always a Bowden fan. And he was super athletic, man. He could bounce. So, yeah, I miss him.
All right. Now to the best part of the show. Kentucky time. Kentucky.
We just did the best
time.
part of the show. What are you talking about?
Yeah, best part.
No, best for last. Best for last. Which is actually Final Four talk, because those are the teams that are playing, but we'll come to that afterwards. So Selena, unless I missed something or I'm not remembering correctly, we only have one official portal announcement, and that is J-Lo, right?
That is true. So far, yes, only one. That is J-Lo. And this came really early, really soon after the season, and after he said he wanted to run it back. So, but
so interview came out with dad and mom. He said, I really wanted to come back. I think everybody expected him to come back, and then, like you said, it was a quick flip. Do you think that was because, one, he's probably I don't want to say demand, but he's probably saying, hey, y'all pay me this last year. This is what I expect to get paid. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's because Pope has targets out there that he thinks are better? Do you think it's a worry about the shoulder? We just mentioned Cade Phillips. He's dealing with the same shoulder injury. And it's flared up in 2 seasons in a row. And we just had JQ we paid a lot of money for who didn't play. So, or do you think it's a combination of 3? What do you think it was that?
I think it's everything. Okay. I think he probably wanted some amount of money. And they were like, no. And I think probably the plan, because I don't think that he would be starting. I think Pope wants to bring a different point guard in as a starter, and I think that's not okay with him either. And the shoulder, obviously, we both dealt shoulder injuries. We know how they are. They never. It takes a lot for them to fully heal, and I think I don't know. I think it's a combination of everything, and I think the conversation is like, all right, I'm good, I'm out. So, okay, bye. Like, cool.
Yeah, I agree. I have seen like what Whiskey put in there that he wasn't given the option to stay. I don't know what the behind the scenes talk is, but I do feel like it was more of a staff in Pope saying, hey, the risk is too high for the money you want. It probably makes sense if you want to be a starter to hit the portal and see what you can get. Maybe go back to the ACC or play. And while I wanted J-Lo back, and I've said, like, you can't have too many good ball handlers on the roster. We've seen it too many times over Pope's tenure, the 2 years here, where the injuries have killed the team's momentum or their long-term success. And unfortunately, both years, the majority of the injuries have come from that point guard spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, him leaving is, I don't know. I was disappointed, but it didn't like kill me. Like, oh no, how do we lose this guy? And
Right.
I'm hoping that's because, we do have Mason Williams coming in. Now, do I expect him to be the starter or get a lot of it? No, he's a developmental guy, but we do have somebody in there for depth if we need to. And then I think we still have at least 2 point guards that we need to go grab. And the fact that he did leave that early, and it was from reports, if you believe them, hey, you should go, and not so much J-Lo wanting to go. I'm hopeful that means there's targets out there that we are confident we will get once the portal opens.
Like
Whether that's
Bizjack?
like Bizjack, we'll see. I know he's expected to come. Again, I don't think he's not a starting point guard. He's depth,
No.
right? He's not the same player, but he's what you would expect, what we expected from Kirk Kriisa behind Lamont Butler, right? So I think you still need somebody else. Hopefully the Dink Pate thing is legit. I know Jason Hart leaves, but I don't necessarily think that means he follows him to SMU. If Kentucky still wants to give him an offer and he can come play for Pope. Rumor is that BG is also leaving and potentially going to SMU. He has not announced yet. I think that most of the fan base is okay with Brandon Garrison leaving. I look at Brandon Garrison. My mindset is similar to y'all's about Estrella, where I like for him to stay. I think BG has potential if you can kind of rein in the mentals a little bit. We saw it in postseason play that he can be very good defensively, and when he's in the right mindset, he can also score well.
Yes. It's just his mind is so like
it's so inconsistent that again, if he leaves, I'm bummed out, but I'm not like, oh damn, how did we lose this guy, right?
Right.
Juice asked about Chandler. Drew doesn't think he comes back. I personally do. I think if the money's the same,
I think Drew thinks he is.
Drew said he thinks he's staying.
Do you think Chandler's leaving? Okay, thank you. I read that wrong. Okay, so I agree with Drew. If the money's the same, $2.5 million in NIL, I think he comes back because he knows Pope's system. He trusts Pope, and Pope has shown he can develop players. Like Richie Saunders wasn't Richie Saunders until Pope got a hold of him. Now Kevin Young got the Richie Saunders everybody saw and was an absolute bucket before he got hurt. But that development came under Coach Pope at BYU. I just need Chandler not to be a starter, honestly. And he same as how you're describing Bishop Boswell. Colin Chandler in a 6-man role, and I think I said this last show. If you look at what DiVincenzo was at Nova, coming off the bench, consistent 10 points a game, but dude could give you 20 plus if he was feeling it, right? And if DiVincenzo was giving you 20 plus and he did that consistently in the tournament, guess what? You're going to a title game. So I would like to see him in that 6th-man role. If he's our starting 2 or 3, I'm nervous. If he's coming off the bench to light it up, I think we're in a really good spot. How do you feel about Chandler, Selena?
Well, I mean, I feel very vindicated after that came out. But anyways, I don't know. I
agree with Braden.
He wants to be a starter. I mean, he really does. He doesn't come off the bench, I don't think, at all. And I 100% can see BYU paying him way more than we will. Absolutely. Like, they have a lot of money to spend, and they don't care to spend it. They don't care at all. So I can see them doing that. And I could see him leaving because, for all rumors, his wife wants to go home already. They're homesick, right? And that's, if wifey wants to go, typically you're going to go for the most part, especially if they're paying you a lot of money, right? They're going to go. But yeah, I don't think Chandler would be happy coming off the bench. I really don't.
I just, if in Pope's system, if nothing changes, just because he comes off the bench doesn't mean he's not getting 20 plus minutes a game. And if he's on, he'll get the time. And again, I just said DiVincenzo's still balling in the league. Like, just because he's coming off the bench doesn't mean he's not getting valuable minutes. And I mean, Jackson Robinson was a sixth man and almost got drafted before coming to, almost stayed in the draft before coming to Kentucky. So, if he's in his mind of I'm only going to play if I'm a starter, or only standing if I'm a starter, I think I think the young man needs to take a step back and actually say what's best role for me, because that's when players get recognized, is when they're in the right role and performing well. And then my other thing, I've seen it too. I agree with you, and I understand. Like, hey, married, wife is already back in Utah. Maybe he wants to go back to Utah as well.
Yeah.
But if I got aspirations to be in the league, guess what, homie? 82 games a year, whatever it is, plus playoffs, you're not home a lot. And if you're getting paid $2.53 million, I bet that pays to help you feel better when you get homesick. I'm just thinking, so
BYU would probably pay him $4 million. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they would double whatever we offered him. I'm pretty sure. Like, because they don't care. That's the thing about BYU. They don't care.
Well, then they will consistently lose the top 25 teams because they have a coach that doesn't know what he's doing with all that money.
No, I agree. I completely agree. He's not a good coach. Kevin Young is not a good coach whatsoever. But as far as spending money, they don't care to spend it. And I don't. Yeah. So without Jackson Robinson, yes, Jackson was sixth man, but Jackson's skill set was also much better than Collins as far as his ability to handle the ball and everything. Like, Colin gets come from a situation like that. He freaks out. He has turnovers. He's not as smooth as Jackson in that situation. His game's not the same either. Like, Colin still needs to develop some like 3-level scoring ability. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree that Jackson Robinson was, yes, better for sure, more talented, just had natural gifts. And while he was a 3-level scorer, it's not like that's what he wanted to do. Like, he enjoyed. We talked about this with Denzel Aberdeen. Like, he just wanted to sit out there and jack up shots, and he. What did you say? What did you say?
Hush. No.
Stop. Yeah, so we'll see. I personally believe if I had to just make an educated guess right now, you have Malachi Moreno, you have Cam Williams, and you have Colin Chandler returning. And right now you got 3 roster spots so you can bank on, and you're building around that with negotiations.
Don't forget Braden Hawthorne too. He said he's coming back.
Yes. I'm sorry, Braden Hawthorne
and Reese Potter also.
And Reese Potter, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Braden, who knows? I think I really look at him. Don't beat me up about this. Braden Hawthorne, if he, with the size and whatnot, I think you could go watch him in his high school tape and say he's got some Nate Ament in him. Like, he's long and lengthy and can get wherever. He's not there yet, which is why he redshirted and not looking to be a potential lottery pick, but he's got that in him. We'll see what he develops into. If the staff is right and what we're hearing is right from people who have seen him in the gym, the kid is an absolute bucket. Can he do it in SEC play? Big college ball, we will find out.
I think if he gets stronger, he will.
He's up to 190, 195 right now.
Yeah, he's gained 20 pounds, I think, in muscle this season.
How tall is this kid? Yeah. How tall is he, Rando?
He's like 6'8", 6'9", something like that. He's big kid. Yeah. He's built like Nate Ament.
And I was going to say
170 pounds.
He was.
That's what he checked in at. Yeah. He's 195 now.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a foot shorter and I weigh 195.
He was very, very.
But what did Nate weigh when he got to Tennessee? It couldn't have been much heavier.
It wasn't much more than that, like 180, probably 185, something like that. He got up to 205, I think. Yeah. That's what he got up to.
He's still too light. He's still too light.
He is too light. But if you think about it, you said, he's not there yet, referring to Nate Ament. Well, Nate Ament wasn't Nate Ament until about January.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sometimes it's got to be trial by fire.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait until you're ready, because if you wait till you're ready, you may never get on the floor. Sometimes you got to
Yeah.
learn on the job, so to speak. So,
Uh,
man, that's light though for that
You're
frame.
probably
that's light.
not familiar with the Braden Hawthorne story. He was brought here, and that was the intent was, hey, he was a top 30 recruit, Selena, I believe, top 30 recruit. But it was you got to put on some size, dude. You are not built for college ball yet.
They would have ran him over. He would have got broken in half on the floor.
So
How skinny he was.
Braden Hawthorne, his
I'm
dad.
going to say it's Sean Bradley, not Colin Chandler. All 7'6" of that Sean Bradley.
So he came here knowing he was going to redshirt 1 year, and he's not going to be a guy unless he's wildly good to come in here and be here for a year and then leave. This is a guy who you probably have at least 2 years after the redshirt to play, and for him to find that maybe get to that native mint comp in the next 2 years, when he's 19, 20 years old.
I do want to touch on Braden's comment about what my outlook is, or our outlook on Malachi Moreno. I think if he gets stronger and gets better hands, he could be a really good center, because he is 7'1", 7'2", something like that. And he showed a lot of promise this season, just as a freshman, like kind of big throw starting role, whatever. But he has to get stronger though, and he's got to start being more aggressive, sort of like dunking the ball and stuff like that. And his hands got to get better. But I think he has a lot of potential to be one of those like dominant centers that seem to be running the college game right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the vision that Amari had, but he's not great with his back to the basket. He's better than Amari was, but if he can play that point center spot, in the Mark Pope offense and help facilitate, he's got to also get better at passing the ball out of the paint.
Yeah.
He is big. He there's a lot of gravity that comes to him when he's in the paint. He try to force shots up at the rim instead of finding open shooters in the corner. Like, he's got to get better vision from there as well. People were like, we need a starting center out of the portal. Moreno's a starting center, in my opinion. I think he showed enough this year where you can, after with an offseason of development, he can absolutely be a starting center. But you got to get a backup.
Yeah.
You got to find some depth there. But I'm not upset if we go into next season with Malachi as the starting center. I mean, he was on back end of draft boards, going into postseason. Now, his postseason drop off was unfortunate. But again, I think he's got the potential to be a starting center. And I don't know what Reese Potter is. He played decent at a lower level. I think he can maybe be a stretch four. I would love Reese Potter to be the Andrew Carr. I don't know if he's that talented.
He's also like 7'2",
yet.
though, isn't he? He's taller than.
Is he that tall? I thought he was 6'10", 7 foot.
I thought he was taller than Malachi.
He might have been.
Hold on.
Maybe.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
I
thought he was. Let me see.
But yeah, so that's what we have coming back. But when I mentioned those three, I meant of like the three that gave us minutes this year. I think my personal opinion is you can bank on Cam, bank on Moreno. Maybe there's some question marks about Colin. I just feel like we're going to find a way for him to come back. If I'm Pope, I'm trying to find a way, both role, fit, money, all those things to bring Colin back. We said this a month ago that Moreno and Colin had to be staples of next year's team, and I still feel the same way.
So Reese is an inch taller than Malachi.
Dang.
And
he can shoot, right?
I think he's lankier too. Yeah, I think he's got a longer wingspan too.
All right, Reese, come on with it.
Hey, Brady, just saying Sean Bradley was a McDonald's All-American. Colin Chandler was not. Just saying.
He would that's because he was out there doing, God's work on his mission trip.
What?
He went on a mission trip. Like
So?
he's
2 years. He was out in like
McDonald's All-American is high school. Did he go while he was in high school?
he had
when he was 18.
He wanted to be at McDonald's
after he graduated.
The rumor is he wanted to be a doctor. He was invited and he was like, no, I got to go serve the Lord, and he decided to give it to somebody else.
He was
probably a Tennessee kid.
How many go to McDonald's?
24, I think.
All right, he was ranked 33rd, so he wasn't going to be McDonald's anyway.
All right, so maybe it's April Fool's. Maybe my story's made up. Maybe it's not.
Brando make something up? No, never.
Braden, say sorry. Say sorry, Braden.
All right. So before we move on, the last thing that was a good transition. McDonald's All-American game was last night. Did y'all watch it? Because I was highly invested in the Tyron Stokes experience.
I watched. Well, no, I didn't watch it because I didn't get home until late last night. But I did watch some of the highlights though. He's really good.
You got to get this kid, Pope.
He's really good.
This kid, the first half, and I was messaging some of the guys that are in the chat here right now, and I was bummed out. I was like, man, the first half he was just like non-existent. I did like the fact that out of all the players on the West team, a lot of guards, the coach was like, hey, we're putting the ball in Tyron Stokes' hand to run the offense. So he's 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", 225, running the offense. He made some impressive passes in the first half, but wasn't aggressive as a scorer. And then the second half started, and boy, he was in takeover mode. Steals for dunks, rim protection. Like didn't think he had that in his game to go up there and swat balls. And then he started getting going offensively. I left there after that game going, I don't care how long you take, dude. I don't care if the insiders are right and you keep pushing this thing back and all the stuff going on behind the scenes. Even if it is true, it seems doubtful, but even if it is true, I don't care. I want this kid in Lexington next year. He is an absolute stud.
Drew said he's not convinced.
What Juice? Why? Come on, man. He has all the tools.
So, in fairness, obviously, Juice,
did you watch the game?
Juice be trolling a lot, but in the group chat, he said this a couple days ago.
So I have also been a little bit nervous about is that the talent that he's playing out there, he's playing a bunch of 6-foot white kids out here in California. Is he actually that good? Now he's been the number one in his class since his freshman year. It has not wavered. So there's obviously talent there. But and I know it was an all-star game, but if you watched it, those kids were playing defense that was in the last 2-3 years, the McDonald's All-American game has been actually a good basketball game. It's not just NBA All-Star type, they're just going out there and to have fun. These kids are competitive. They want to win. I appreciate it. And, was it some ugly basketball at times? Turnovers? Yeah. They hadn't played a lot together. And in my personal opinion, it was enough competition. And I think that McDonald's All-American is a good marker. It was when I watched Reed Shepherd. There's a lot of questions about him. I watched Reed Shepherd in McDonald's All-American game. I said, this kid can play at the level. And sure enough, he could. So I do think Stokes is the real deal. And I think he's worth the money and he's worth whatever you got to do with Nike and Kentucky to get him to commit at the Nike Hoop Summit on April 3rd. And you build around this kid. I truly believe he could be special.
Juice, we won't really know how good he is until a preseason game. Then.
Okay, that's funny.
So, Juice, it is more than just that. It's because it would also be one of a successful recruiting get for Pope. There's multi layers to this. It's not just he's so good wave to have. It's hey, Pope's not landed these dudes yet. He needs to build and prove he can do that.
Is Stokes going to be a open the checkbook guy, whatever the number is?
Yeah.
See, this is why you can't take anything that Juice says seriously. This comment right here. Reed is absolutely cooking in the league right now. Impressing dudes like Kevin Durant.
I thought it was a fairly accurate statement.
April Fools. Get out of here. Get out of here, Juice.
You just got all of EBN all fired up. Here it goes.
Yeah, he did.
Here it goes.
No, except for the ones that that call him a traitor because he wore Arkansas. Those people don't care anymore. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Hammer, you asked if he's a blank check guy. Here's the thing. Well, one, it's not my money. So there's a donor that wants to give him $6 million to come here. Sure, I don't care. Is it? I don't think you can dedicate if you only have so much money. It's already determined what the pot is. I don't know if you can give this dude 60% of it just to come here. You still need good pieces. We have seen too many times in the John Calipari experience where you can have one elite dude. He saw it. The Arkansas fans saw it this year. He had a decent roster around him, he had one elite kid, and unfortunately, he could not get him past the second round. Like as good as Darius Acuff was, he couldn't put the weight of the team on his shoulders every single time. So you still have to have good pieces, but man, I don't know what the number is. I don't know if he's AJ DeBanza and you give him $7 million. Again, it ain't my money. So if there's somebody out there who wants to do it, do it. But I think you got to be able to figure it out. And if my personal thoughts on this, and Nike can't let this kid go to an Adidas school. I know there's Adidas athletes playing at Nike. Nate Ament is a Reebok athlete playing Nike, Tennessee. If he comes back next year, he'll be playing for Adidas. Adidas is on the come up, and they're battling. They've signed some good, very good NBA players. Adidas has been around Dame and whatnot, but they haven't really ever gotten to Nike level since Jordan, right? Reebok completely dropped off, fell away in basketball once Nike and took the huge step forward with Jordan. So like Shaq and AI have to sign Nate Ament and let him go to Tennessee for the exposure. This is my athlete. This is my dude. I think it's not as drastic, but similar for Adidas. Nike can't let the number one kid go to an Adidas school. I think it's just a bad looks optically. Like you couldn't get this kid, not even at Kentucky. You couldn't get him in Oregon. Like you couldn't get him at Phil Knight's school to go play ball. I think it's just too bad of a look for Nike. And it also would be a very, very not good look for Pope in Kentucky. It would be a indictment on him and his recruiting, his ability to close like we've seen. It'd be Kentucky and the JMI deal is going to come back up. So me personally, at the Nike Hoop Summit, if you can sell him on, hey, we do everything is branded around Stokes and his commitment, right? You're doing commercials, all these other things to make the Nike Hoop Summit about the kids playing, but really it's Tyron Stokes commitment day. And all the price tag that would come for the young man, right? All the millions of dollars that would bring him. Because if the JMI deal is really a problem and signing over your NIL rights to JMI and allow JMI to do all your negotiating and, NIL branding and whatnot, from what we're told, that's how it works. Make all the money you can before you sign the deal, right? Let Nike give you a big old check that isn't affected by JMI. Boom. You get paid plus your NIL money from Kentucky. It's a win-win. You ink. Nike wins. Kentucky wins. Stoke wins. That's how I see it playing out in my mind right now.
Isn't
Tell me I'm
Kansas a
crazy.
Nike school?
What?
Kansas Adidas school.
Kansas Adidas? Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And all the hoopla about him committing at the McDonald's All-American game. You know who sponsors McDonald's All-American game? Three Stripe, Adidas. You know what he decided to not do? Commit at the McDonald's All-American game. And one thing we haven't mentioned, I do think the Mo Williams hire and the Mo Williams and Jamal Crawford relationship, I think all these things are interconnected to where, yes, did I like the post he put out on X with the oh my gosh face after Self decided he was going to not retire, which we all predicted wasn't going to happen? I didn't like that one bit. Not one bit. But I think he's just trolling us. It's April Fool's. I think I'm in my mind, he's trolling Kentucky fans because he knows he's coming here.
Look, speaking of Mo Williams, I think Mo Williams was a great hire. But
I'm done with you. How do I work
Juice.
StreamYard? How do I kick this dude
Juice
out?
wins tonight. Juice is the winner. That was the knockout.
Not in my
blow
mind.
right
I'm not
there.
voting for that. This is
It's not a vote.
Coach.
It's a declaration.
Yeah.
No, this is
Juice
a Coach
just won.
Evans thing.
Yeah,
He is getting exiled.
Table slapped.
Thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. Drew knows. But that's how I see it played out in my head. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just it. Yeah, I
Do you think that
can't.
I don't know how to refer to it in the Kentucky basketball world, but do you think the money powers that be are going to be willing to spend another 20+ million on this roster?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all the stuff that came out that Pope's not going to have the same money he had last year, I think it's all BS. One, I don't think the roster was $22 million to begin with when you talk about 1-year contracts. Two, the funding is still going to be there. I think who the AD is going to be big. But all of the people who supported Pope last year still support Pope this year. They're still, like you said, it doesn't have the same tenure. Like, it's not the same, not a direct comp to Rick Barnes, but there's people who love Rick Barnes in Knoxville, right? And they want him to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Pope coming back and him bringing back all these legacy guys. And there are certainly Kentucky folks, basketball players, fans, pundits, whatever, who are critical of Pope. I believe the money is going to be there. And I do think, like Selena says, people recognize that landing Stokes, not only is he a potential program-changing player in a one-season role, he's a domino effect. It's a ripple effect when you sign someone like Tyron Stokes and he's successful. Now it's like, okay, the JMI deal, cloud thing isn't as bad. Pope not being able to recruit, top talent, or doesn't want to recruit top talent because it doesn't fit his model. That stigma's not there anymore. And it's just like the floodgates potentially open, follow on ears, if he's successful this year and remains our coach.
So let me throw this. I'm sorry, Selena, I mean to step in front of you there. So let me throw this at you. Let's say they don't get Stokes.
Oh boy.
So that tells me everything I need to know about the rest of my question. So literally, and I know everybody's got their own thoughts on this, but you seem to have your finger on the pulse pretty well of what the general consensus in the fan base is. So if what I'm gathering, it's Stokes or bust.
For the fan base, yes.
So is that going to prevent Pope from being aggressive in the portal until he makes his decision? Because that's where I think it could cause problems.
And I 100% agree with you there. Go ahead, Selena.
I don't. Here's the thing. So the money question, as far as Pope having the same amount of money, I think so, yes, because you've seen coaching changes already, right? Like AB3 not getting his contract renewed. I don't think that was all Pope's decision. I think there's pressure for him to change some things around. They brought in Keegan Brown as well. And if I know Pope, as in like when he was here as the first season, right? So yeah, obviously Stokes is number one. That's the number one. You have to go get him no matter what. But I think he's going to have the backups in place that would make it okay-ish if he didn't get him. What's the powers that be? The fan base will lose their minds completely.
Yeah, because all they're going to see are all these other top dudes signing with all of the other, elite caliber, blue blood teams that did well in the tournament this year, whatever that looks like. They're going to see these guys flying off the board, and then they're going to start panicking.
But it's also the BBN, so BBN panics all the time, no matter what, though, right?
Oh, sure they do. Yeah, but it's just that's the thing that I think is what this potentially could set up, and then all that happens and you don't get him. Ooh.
So here's what I'll tell BBN is Tyron Stokes is not a must-have. He is a very, very nice to have, like a very, very nice to have. He is not a must-have. And the portal opens April 7th. If I'm Kentucky, if I'm Pope, working with Nike and Stokes' people and all that, I like, hey, dog, I need a silent commitment. And Pope has shown he's very, very good at keeping this shit internal, right? It's very, very good. Even when, your top folks who do these crystal ball things predict somebody, it has turned, and, he's very good at keeping these things close to the chest. But it's like, hey, I need a silent commitment by April 7th when the portal opens that you're going to be here. If Kentucky fans don't see some of these big time, big money portal guys logging expected visits to Kentucky early, that's a good sign, right? If you start seeing, especially dudes at that position at the 3, maybe even small ball 4 spot. I doubt he plays a 4, but I think there is a role there if we want to go small, especially stretch the 4 with Malachi. If we see a lot of 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" wings making visits, April 7th, April 8th, getting tagged, all right, you ain't getting them, right? But if there's silence, that's good, right? If there's not a lot of those visits, it's point guards and centers and ancillary pieces, Stokes on his way to Kentucky.
That reminds me. You said talk about how Pope keeps up to the chest. I don't know if you guys saw the comments or whatever from other coaches about him. They said he's really hard to get to know because he doesn't talk a lot. Like he's a very insular guy. Oh God, juice. Listen, I work with kids all day long and I hear that 30,000 times a day. But they said he's just they can't figure him out. They can't figure out how he operates. He's very I guess reclusive like that, I guess, in a sense. So a lot of times we have no idea what he does either, right? This first team, we had no idea who was getting it. Also, we have people committing. We're like, where'd that guy come from? Who's that guy? So I think that's how he operates, to be fair.
Why does Marquise Teague not like Pope?
I don't know.
I saw them going about that in the chat. Maybe he said something on his show. I have personally not seen it.
I'm sure
520.
He's probably been going crazy on 520 about it. He's a super Kentucky homer. I know that. I see him.
Yeah.
He talks about Kentucky all the time on that show, but I don't know what he said about.
Yeah, I don't know. Why doesn't he like him? I have to go listen and watch those, see if I can figure that out.
That's a good show. Jeff.
Yeah. So I just and after watching to close it up, man, I had put out there when he said when Tipton came out and said that he's changing his date again. I put out a tweet of I'm kind of done with the Tyron Stokes experience. I want him to be at Kentucky, but I'm done tracking this thing. This is so silly. It keeps getting moved. And I had multiple people either comment in accounts that I enjoy, engaging with, Kentucky accounts, either respond to that or message me and go, hey man, this recruitment has been different. He hasn't let anything out, him being Stokes. And everything has just been guessed. So, I don't think you should hold accountable or hold this kid accountable to changing it or being a prima donna or, just chasing money, which I'm sure he's chasing some money. When you're number one recruit, you should. But, maybe pump the brakes because he personally has not actually set a date. It's everybody guessing what the date is. And I'm like, that's a good point. And I got too because I've said that multiple times. These motherfuckers don't know nothing, right? And then I was the one that tweeted, I'm done with it. I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Didn't he even tweet when's it ever going to stop? Because they just this date and then this date and then this date and then this date, and he's
yeah.
What the hell?
And so much of it isn't Tyron at all. It's everybody in his camp, his handlers, his agent, lawyer. I mean, whatever that looks like for him. Those are the people that are making all these changes. It's really probably not him.
Right.
Yeah, and those are the people, especially that are out there on the money hunt. So,
bless you.
Thank you.
And my favorite thing about the McDonald's All-American game is, yes, he scored, he played defense, he did a lot of stuff. Just go watch the personality. Yeah, he did some flexing, he did some showboating, but as he's making passes and other people are he's creating for other scores, or even if he's on the bench, I was watching him, locked in. He ain't sitting there all about himself, or if he doesn't, he wasn't there to make it the Tyron Stokes show, McDonald's All-American game. He was dapping up players. He was I liked everything I saw about him. All the now they did say he played through a back injury, which I was twitching. I was like, oh my God, don't give me, just stop.
No more injuries. Stop it.
I ain't trying to do the Mikael Brown thing. I ain't trying to be a part of that at all. But if my read is correct, and this is very early, but if my read is correct, I do think he's in the Nate Ament, Darius Acuff mold of wanting to come and play hard and prove he's a guy, and not in the Darren and AJ's the same way, and not in the Darren DP role or the Mikael Brown role of I know I'm a lottery pick. I'm gonna go out here and hoop a couple times, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Hopefully, I'm right there.
Player in the country.
Who's that? Tyron Stokes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and has been for the last 4 years.
In his class.
Again, I don't care about. I don't follow the rankings, but okay, cool.
He hit number one in his freshman class, and
California?
he's not lost it since.
He's from Louisville, right? Tyron's from Louisville?
He's a Kentucky dude.
Hold on, I don't know that question.
No, I'm fairly certain. I'm questioning myself now, but I would place money that
Come
he's
on,
from Louisville.
you track all this recruiting stuff. You got
Yeah, he's from Louisville. I just looked it up. Okay,
All right.
I should have just gone out there, man. I should have. The tumor, you know. I
He
kind of
plays in
sometimes I forget some
Seattle,
stuff.
Washington.
Yeah, he plays out west, and then again, and we don't need to make this a Tyron Stokes show. He moved colleges. There were some things about like he got in some trouble in school. There were some disagreements, whatever. So that's why he moved out to the West Coast for his last year. There's been a lot of stuff about him and his personality, and maybe he's doesn't have the best mindset. Not what I've seen on the court. And you know what? I need to do with some dog in him. Like we haven't had that in a really, really long time.
No, we haven't had that. I miss it.
Otega Owe had some dog in him, but he was real quiet. Like he did some flexing, some showboating out of it, but I don't know that he was truly that big, boisterous leader, that come out and hoot and holler and maybe like really be the hammer it home the importance of like that aggressive
I miss
nature.
like the PJ Washington type of dog that he was. That's who I want back on this team.
Yeah.
That's
It's
Who's
good.
gonna
It's
mean
good.
mug the
that's
crap
another-
out of you?
Yeah, that's another one that y'all had that I hate that y'all had him because I really like PJ Washington.
He was
PJ
nice.
was-
he was a baller while he was at Kentucky. I hated
Yeah.
that he was at UK, but I like his game a lot, especially while he was there.
Tegatron's not a corny nickname. Juice. I'm gonna stop looking at the chat over
I
here.
know
'cause
he's race baiting and you're falling for it every time.
I am. He's good at what he does. He's good at what he does.
Tegatron is really bad though. We told you that when you first mentioned it that it was a thing. That's a terrible nickname.
How have I missed this one?
Tegatron?
Tegatron.
Yeah. How have I
That came
missed
out. That came out last year.
That's
Somebody made it last year.
that's a really bad one.
That's a great one.
Be happy that you missed it. That's not something
Yeah.
you really want to do.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm not gonna
It's
sugarcoat it.
terrible.
All right. Final four preview. The games are set. How do we feel? I am super glad that y'all convinced me into during the show, Selection Sunday, when I was like, I don't know if I buy into Arizona. And then while y'all were talking, I was looking at it again. I was like, all right, yeah, Arizona's a real deal.
They're
I'm an
legit.
idiot. I'm an idiot. And they're definitely very, very good. Arizona, Michigan.
Yeah, that should be a championship game if you ask me.
It should be the championship game.
That should be a championship game. That's not the Final
Unfortunately,
Four.
it's not. Before we get there, shout out. It sucks that Braylon Mullins should have been a Cat, and we chose another guard over him. And if you don't believe me, you can go look that up. But what a shot! And sending Duke home. Always, I'm not a super big Dan Hurley fan, but I'm even more of a not big Duke fan.
Yeah.
So watching that go in, and just one hell of a shot. Always a great day when Duke loses, especially on a miracle shot like that. Christian Laettner still sucks.
Listen, at some point we have to talk about the same amount of crap that Cal got for all the 5 stars. We're going to give it to him because this is the second year in a row where he's had some of clearly one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams as far as freshmen go in the nation, and has not gone where they thought he should go.
Well, is Boozer not going to be player of the year?
The other thing with Shire is they've blown big leads too, right?
Consistently.
Like you
Consistently.
a 14-point lead against Houston and then 20 or whatever it was this year. Like there is some indication on, players still got to play the game, but there's something implied towards the coach when you're blowing leads that big.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately, Caden took a shot for that turnover, but the Caden didn't give up a 19-point lead.
Right.
Well,
Right.
Shire told him to pass it though. Shire literally was pointing at down the court, telling him to pass the ball. Like it's on the replays. Shire was literally pointing at his teammate down the court.
Yeah, that's this epic failure.
So.
Uh,
But so we'll start there. Michigan, Arizona. I do think Arizona's good. I just think Michigan is just better. I think with what Yaxel can do, Koa Pete is limited in his role. I think he's good. We talked about his what he is lacking in his game multiple times. We need to go into that. I like Michigan in that matchup and how they good. I do think Burries is very good. I think Bradley is very good. I just think Michigan is more physical and just has multiple ways of scoring in the way they play. They can play fast. They can play slow. That is my personal thought. Braden thinks Arizona. What do y'all think about that game?
I think Arizona will win that game. I think it'll be a really good game, but I think Arizona. I think they win. I still feel like Arizona is the most complete team in college basketball right now. I think so, at least. I don't know. They're just really good. Like, they're just really. I think it'll be a good game. Good. It also depends which Michigan shows up, right? So, is it Michigan that beat teams by 40 this year, or had really, really, really weird games and just didn't play well? Like, Arizona's been very consistent, I feel like, throughout the entire season. But that's just my opinion.
Go ahead.
I think it's what Cadeau you're going to get. Like, if Cadeau plays like he did well against Tennessee and like he's played so much in the tournament, but he's also fallen off drastically. But Hammer, how do you feel about this game?
I think we have an Arizona-Illinois final.
I also think Illinois wins on their side, but I just disagree with the Michigan side. What is it about Arizona you think just is better than Michigan? And I mean, it seems like everybody thinks Arizona is clearly better than Michigan. It'll be a good game, but they will walk away with the win.
Well, I mean, for me, a couple things. They've been more, which both teams are really good. Both teams have won 30-plus games. So let's, not we're splitting hairs here. But I think Arizona has been more consistent throughout the season, where Michigan has sort of, I won't say disappeared, but they've had lulls. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what you're going to see from Arizona game in, game out. We have seen Michigan a little bit less consistent, a little bit more spotty at times. And I don't think it helps their case that they just blew out their Elite Eight opponent, whoever that was, where now they've got to come in and play a number one seed. So, and I think the Big 12 probably was better than the Big 10 this year. Not by much.
I think so too.
But I think they had better, deeper teams. And I think the Big 10 was very top heavy. Arizona went through a gauntlet and they came out a number one seed. So
yeah,
it's obviously a very, very close. Both the spread is minus odds for either side. So money coming in is going to have a big impact on where this thing lands, from an odds perspective. But that's why I feel like that they're a better play. And that was my pick from the start, was Arizona to win this thing. So, and as far as Illinois goes, Connecticut, big emotional buzzer beater, epic March Madness moment, and Illinois is just, man, they're just a machine right now.
They're playing so good right now.
Yeah,
they're playing so good,
and they're going to be a tough out for anybody of the other three teams. But I think they get by UConn, and we can't have an all Big Ten championship game. We just can't.
Well, I think UConn's also been inconsistent this season too, right?
They got absolutely destroyed by St. John's.
By St. John's twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and no offense, because that was a pretty good St. John's team, but I mean, let's be honest. You hear Pitino talk about them, and those guys should have been playing JUCO ball. So, I think the coaching advantage is with Connecticut and Hurley, but I mean, Illinois is just very system and process driven, and I think this is the end of the road for UConn. They're lucky to even be here. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
T, what you think?
I think Arizona wins. I'm with Juice that Yaxel is the best player. So if you take the starting 10, Michigan has number 1, but then I feel like Arizona has number 2, 2 through 6 because of their balance. Like we mentioned Koa Pete, but Arizona could function just fine if Koa Pete doesn't have a good game because of how good Burries is and how good Bradley is and how good the big man that they have is. So I think Yaxel is the best, but you can't hone in on anybody from Arizona because Burries can go ham on you, Koa Pete can go ham on you, Bradley can go ham, and I don't remember the big guy's name, and then they got their guy that can shoot threes too. So I'm with Selena on the balance of Arizona. I think it makes them too dangerous because what do you take away from them that cripples them? And I'm kind of being facetious because I don't think there's an answer there. Whereas if you take Yaxel away from Michigan, I think that impacts them a whole lot more.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's probably not scoring 30 in this game.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, right.
He's going to be closer to his 15, 17, 18-point range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hammer, what's the over-under?
It's good.
Oh, it's
both
the highest
teams are
total.
averaging
It's like 157, I think. Yeah, 157.
Both teams averaging 86-ish points a game, but only allowing 68. You're taking the over?
It's over. Yeah, it's an over game.
Juice. No, Arizona can shoot the three well. They just don't. Their points come in the paint because they choose. That's how they play ball. That's how they run their offense. They can shoot the three. They just choose to go to the paint instead because they can. They have that ability to. Everybody can do that.
Even if they don't shoot the three well, like they still can't be stopped. So it doesn't. Like I know that's today's game, but yeah,
Arizona's good at the mid-range game. They're really good at the mid-range.
It is why I picked them. You know, when we did the selection show thing, I like their balance. Their balance is just too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because generally, you know, you take away somebody's primary thing, and that can cripple them. And you can't do that with Arizona.
No, they're too consistent. They show up every game.
Yeah, consistent and balanced is what I like about them.
I want to look up the number because for Illinois, their offense has always been good. Like they got shooters, they can play inside and out. Their why people had issues with them and didn't think they would go far is their defense. Like it would struggle. It was not good, but in the tournament, it has been like very, very good. So I'm curious if they are potentially an outlier, and I don't know. They might have been in that top 30 range coming into the NCAA tournament. But if I remember correctly, they struggled to guard, but they have done that very well in the tournament. So I wonder if they're an outlier for the baseline of like if you aren't these things throughout the season, you aren't winning a championship or aren't making a Final Four. Well, they're already there at the Final Four, and if they keep playing defense at this level, especially with the rim protection they have. That's why I like them against UConn. I think they can light it up. UConn has struggled to score at times. And, you know, I think Illinois can really, really lay it on them, especially if they're being as consistent. And Baby Peja is one of the most fun players watching in college basketball.
So I wonder, though, with Illinois' defense, if it's because their point guard was out for so long, too. Like their main point guard, because remember he missed a lot of time this season because he was it his wrist or his ankle, something he hurt wrist. I think he was out for 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. I think he was out for a long time. That's when Flagler had to come in and play. Is that correct? How did I say that name? What's his name?
Sounds good to me.
I don't have a correction.
But yeah, I just wonder if that's why the defense was kind of taking a hit because their main PG wasn't playing. But I don't know. That's just me hypothesizing.
So I got Illinois, Michigan. Hammer, what's your final two?
Arizona and Illinois.
Hammer or T?
Arizona and Illinois.
Okay. Selena, round us out.
I think it's Arizona, Illinois. I think Illinois is playing too good right now. But you can never count out Dan Hurley for anything. Okay, like never. That man is psychotic, and
you're correct. So Braden, part of my we played Illinois, so I don't really watch Illinois or UConn, but we played Illinois and just completely dominated us. So I'm a little biased based off of just seeing that they were massive and they could all shoot threes, and so it's more not doubting UConn and just I've seen Illinois, kind of the basis for my thought.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Plus, you factor in the fact that Illinois has the number one offensive efficiency rating in college basketball right now. Connecticut's 28. So their offense counters UConn's defense and vice versa. Their defense is ranked higher than Connecticut's offense. So, and I know stats don't necessarily dictate, but Illinois right now is playing lights out, steamrolling through. I'm going to repeat it in case somebody missed it. UConn is extremely fortunate that they're even in this game. Some could argue they don't belong in this game, that it wasn't Illinois' major comeback and luck of the draw shot at the end of the game. It was the collapse of Duke on defense.
They were down by 20.
Let them back in it. Exactly. So one could argue UConn shouldn't even be here. And I think Illinois-Duke matchup, I would favor Illinois in that as well, although that would be a healthy Duke team probably would change my mind in that.
Yeah, head-to-head, sure, it matters, but then it also doesn't matter. We look at Kentucky and Tennessee last year. Like
last year,
2-0, and then like obviously a different result in the tournament. So yes, head-to-head matters, but it's very difficult to beat good teams multiple times and stuff. So I mean, it's the Final Four, right? So any of the four teams could win, you know. So we're all just trying to kind of parse out.
Yeah, and head-to-head doesn't mean crap because St. John's beat the absolute shit out of UConn twice in the regular season. Not beat them, they spanked them.
Yeah.
And then we turn right around, and what happens in the tournament? So,
I mean,
yeah, that doesn't mean anything, unfortunately.
I don't
if
know,
it did, we wouldn't have beat Kentucky last year.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding on that one, man.
It wasn't the same roster y'all played. We don't need to bring it up, all right?
I'm just simply pointing out that 0-2 in the regular season, and Tennessee's never lost to Kentucky in the tournament. That's all I'm pointing out.
Okay. Yeah, that's
that's
hang the banner. Hang the banner.
I'm just stating facts, Rando. I'm not trying to
hang the banner.
Dig you.
The game. We're just saying why we think.
Yeah.
Like just because UConn won in the regular season doesn't mean that we gotta.
Yeah, and to Selena's point, if the point guard wasn't playing and now he's back in, that makes a big difference too. But
I don't know how much he missed a lot though, but I don't know how much it was. But he was out for a while.
Joshy boy, don't do that. It's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, it's okay though. It's not gonna happen. All right. Well, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. They play Saturday. I think the other last thing though is I hate that they're playing this game in Lucas Oil. Everything changes. The backdrop, the football stadium
basketball
thing.
games and football stadiums. Hate it.
Why does Lucas Oil always get why is the NFL Combine there? Why is what is it about?
It's pretty centrally located. I think it's close.
It's close. Indianapolis is a good host city. It's all connected. You can walk
it's
there.
It's all really close.
Yeah, there's
it's
and
all
the NCAA's offices there.
Yeah, that's that one.
So they can control things a little more.
But I lived there, and it.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point, Hammer.
Indy is a decent city, but Lucas Oil doesn't need to be the host.
No, I've stayed at that hotel that's connected to the stadium. Had a conference there, and it's just not a great venue for anything, especially baskain't
Yeah, I don't like that.
I hate basketball and football stadiums. In case I didn't mention that.
Yeah,
I do too.
I don't like that either. That ain't it.
Where did?
What?
I was confirming how. I know I said Lucas Oil, but I was like, is that accurate? It is accurate. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they change sponsorships like every other year, so it's hard to keep up with it for sure.
Well, I was like, it's in India. I was like, watch them actually play with the Pacers play, and I'm just talking out of my mind, but it is in fact
Like,
in Lucas Oil, probably because they can pay, sell so many more tickets there.
man, Braden is on here preaching right now.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
I'm with it.
Other than Illinois is going to beat UConn. Other than that, he's dead on tonight.
Yeah,
He's in his bag.
Preaching right now.
He's doing what Juice is doing. He's
And
showing.
suddenly his ego is 3 times the size it usually is.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep preaching like that, I'll keep pumping it up. I'm with it.
Yep.
But I think we'll come on during the second game, do our happy hour show. So we'll see how that goes. The Michigan game is the later one, 3 my time, so 6 East Coast time will be Illinois, UConn. I think Illinois is just clicking right now. I just think they're too good, and maybe a little hangover effect. UConn just happy to be there at this point, right? So, but we shall see. I think I'm the outlier where I have Illinois, Michigan. So that's we'll see how that goes come Saturday. But hey, first off, shout out to the chat. Like I think that's the most active it's been in a really long time.
I love it.
It just drives the show, so we really appreciate that. Everybody going back and forth. We love watching you battle each other. We love watching or having you come and battle us or give us good feedback. So thanks for doing that. And as you do that, it really helps with the viewership too. So if you're in the chat and can repost this so folks will see it in the morning when they wake up, we would definitely appreciate that. I will also post the YouTube link in the morning. We'll get some clips out. But we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. We will be back Saturday for the happy hour show, like I mentioned.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
rocking.
anymore. I can join. Yay! Bane is
Nice.
done until July. Yay!
Friday, which is tomorrow. Friday, tomorrow, the
Friday's
Kentucky.
not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow. What's the day?
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday, Rand. Hammer's like,
Wishful thinking. I needed it to be. It's been a week. I'll tell you all about the week.
It's
when
week
we
before
get off.
spring break, okay? These children are psychotic right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, promo starts now. Friday in 2 days from today. You can go to that QR code. The Kentucky Feed the Studs is dropping. So the phrase coined by our new head ball coach, Stein, State Line coach, dropping the Feed the Studs hats. They got a corduroy camo, which I'm pretty sure is the first ever corduroy camo. That's tough to say. That's hard. They need to change. That's really tough to say. But I think it's the first one. I think it's the first one ever. So you can get that one if you're a Kentucky fan. They also all the other stuff they have on the website. The script. I finally got my script shirt in, and this is my new favorite hat. The Otto. It just fits my dome right. It's cotton, I think, and I think the one that I bought with the Wildcat logo is the same. So that will drop on Friday. All UK Ball 25 get you 25% off, and then my favorite store on the internet, bluegrass-elite.com. You can get our merch, which we really appreciate, all UK ball stuff. They got the heavy pour sports stuff on there. Border Rivals stuff is on there as well. Even if you're like, this show sucks, I'm not buying any of your stuff, you can just go buy Tennessee gear. You can go buy Kentucky gear. You can go buy Louisville gear. If you really, really, really want to haze yourself, you can go buy Louisville gear. And it's Marine owned, so they got veteran stuff on there. They have bourbon collection stuff on there. Whatever you want fits your needs, your style, you can get from Bluegrass-Elite. Scan that QR code, Heavy Pour 15, get you 50% off, free shipping. Marine owned and operated, to go support Gary out there in Kentucky doing great stuff. And if you order something like Hammer found out, Selena found out, I found out, sometimes you just get free gifts dropped in there. It's awesome.
I loved it. The freaking hoodie. And listen, the quality is fantastic.
It is really nice.
Like,
it is really, really nice stuff.
Quality is so good.
And yeah, it's really nice when you open up. It's like, I ordered 2 things, and there's an extra shirt in there.
Yeah,
Like, oh, Gary, thanks, dude.
I was like, I didn't know. Did I order this? And I was like, oh, I did. Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah. So go get that stuff. We would really appreciate it. If you do get something, order it, tag us in it, and we'll go. We'll show some love. But all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on, and we will see you Saturday. This time, maybe a little boozed up. Happy hour show. As always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Big Orange.
Go Vols.
Peace. Play the music.